So we've got our dialogue. The next thing we want to do is figure out how to animate that dialogue, because eventually it's going to be the fly in this program. And so animation consists of having a perpetually running loop, and every time you go through that loop, you update the position of something and then re-render that thing. So let's start by writing a loop that perpetually runs and updates something on each run. So making a loop that perpetually does something is pretty easy. We'll use a while loop, and the condition for the while loop will have be true, which means this while loop always executes. And each time through this loop, we'll just put something in the console. And this is to simulate rendering something to the screen. And then let's simulate updating something. So I'll make a variable, and each time through the loop, we'll update the value of that variable. This is supposed to be analogous to updating that position of the dialogue. Let me also output the variable, and we'll call this from the main method. So if we run the program, we have our dialogue and then just a spew of this update to the console. And so you can see that the problem is that this is unrestrained running of this loop. If this were the dialogue moving around on the screen, it would be jumping all over the place. It's much too fast. We want to be able to control how fast we move through the loop. So I don't want to go just as soon as I get to the bottom of the loop, go back up to the top of the loop and do it again. I want to have a little bit more control over that process. And the way to do that is to use this sleep method. It's a static method on the thread class. So every process has a main thread to it, and calling sleep pauses that main thread for however long you want. The argument to sleep is the delay in milliseconds. So 1,000 would be 1 second. So this is going to pause that main thread for 1 second. Java's complaining right now because thread.sleep can throw an exception, and we're not currently handling that. So go ahead and just put this in a try catch. We're not actually going to handle the exception, but we just need to tell Java that we will. So this is exactly the same as before, except now instead of running unhindered, this loop will pause for 1 second each time through. So you can see that this is a much more restrained version of the previous program.